Shadow Binders is back in stock on shopclownfish.com. That's shopclownfish.com. If you missed our Indiegogo, now's your chance. You can get the books again. And now on with the show. Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And it's time for yet another daily dose of Dismal Disney.
This is with a Marvel edition.
Marvel edition. There we go. We're going to talk about Black Widow. And good news, for those of you wondering, it passes the Bechdel test.
Oh boy.
It also forces men to squeam as it puts them in their place. This is going to be fantastic. People cannot wait to be put in their places.
Right, so let's take
Disney.
half the audience right from the get-go and put them in their place. This reminds me of when they were trying to tell people not to go to Birds of Prey.
Birds of Prey, we had Terminator, we had Charlie's Angels,
and they all did
Ghostbusters.
so well. It sounds perfect to just follow in those footsteps.
Yeah, so not a good marketing strategy here. Now, this might not be Disney, but we're going to talk about why, these media outlets use the language that they use because they need the views. They do what they do to get you the click, and they want you to be angry. This is why we saw all these Last Jedi articles pop up years after the fact, because they knew they could get outrage clicks. They want you to be angry. Because you have to be angry, because if you're not angry, you're not going to the website, you're not giving them ad revenue, they get shut down.
I'm more angry that they took this long to do a Black Widow movie. You wait till she's already dead.
I know, right?
That pisses me off more than anything, because I've been wanting a Black Widow movie for years, because when you look at the characters in the Avengers, she was like, she didn't have any powers. She had her guns, and she kicked ass all on her own and held her own with the people with superpowers. I mean, to me, that was movie worthy a while ago.
That's true. She should have gotten a movie before Captain Marvel, that's for damn sure.
I agree.
They made a big deal about Captain Marvel being like the first female Marvel movie. It's like, yeah, it
should have been Black Widow.
Should have been Black Widow. She was here all along. Anyway, we're going to talk about this, and we're going to talk about Scarlett Johansson kind of throwing shade at the history of Black Widow when she used to yuck it up with the boys. So before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We're over 204,000 subs.
Woo!
Thank you so much for the support. Greatly appreciate it. We do talk about Disney, talk about Marvel, talk about comics, whatever interests us. And this dropped yesterday or the day before that IndieWire, their review is, thank God it passes the Bechdel test and it's going to make men squeam.
The squeam just makes that's just a really weird choice of wording.
This is not a pool quote they're going to put on the TV ad. It's like, IndieWire says it makes men squeam.
And it passes the Bechdel test.
Oh my God, could you see that? That was actually a trailer, like a TV trailer, like Captain Marvel. It's like, passes the Bechdel test with flying colors.
Yeah, it's like, well, first of all, you
Sue.
should probably explain to people what the Bechdel test is, because some people honestly might not know it. They're like, what the hell is the Bechdel test?
The Bechdel test is bullshit.
It is bullshit. I have often said this.
Actually, Alison Bechdel is a cartoonist. It was named after her because she put it in one of her 80s independent comic strips, and somehow picked up momentum in academic circles.
Yeah, well,
and
circle jerk of dumbassery.
Right, and it became kind of a litmus test where it's like, if women are in a scene in a movie, they talk about something other than men, because she observed, I guess, and her friends observed, that usually when women share a scene together, they're talking about a guy or something a guy is doing.
And there usually could be a good reason for it.
Right.
And I love it how basically you're allowed to talk about men because that fills the Bechdel test. But if they're women that happen to be like lesbian or something talking about another woman, that passes with flying colors, but it's the exact same thing.
It's the same thing. You're talking about, relationships and anyway, that's the test. So the test, there's some other qualifiers, but they run movies and TV shows and comic books and that through the Bechdel test.
Most don't pass.
Thank
the Lord.
And Alison Bechdel's actually come out before. I know she's come out before, and she just kind of laughs it off. I don't think she ever thought it was going to be taken as seriously as it was. But, I mean, people freaking, like, sites like the Mary Sue, like, live and die by the freaking Bechdel
more
test.
die than live, but
Yeah, and most movies don't pass. But thank God, Black Widow passes.
Written by a dude, by the way.
Written by a dude. It passes the Bechdel test.
This dude's going to tell the other dudes how to feel and tell women what, that's a good movie because, feminism.
Well, let's talk about Scarlett Johansson here first, because she defended Black Widow for the longest time. And I remember her yucking it up with, what was it, Hemsworth and Evans, and about, they were talking about her being kind of slutty.
Well, that's kind of their character. I mean, she was like a Black Widow. That's the name. That's the point.
Sleeps with the guys and then she kills them. That's what she does. And
that's what she was trained to do. And,
she's got a lot of red in her ledger. Right?
Right.
But yeah, so she said, initially she was treated like a possession and a piece of ass. I think that's what the little dash is.
I'm sure that's what it was,
Yeah, so she admitted that Black Widow was treated like a possession. Well, I mean, originally, she was just kind of there, but she came into her own.
She always kicked ass and took names and did not need powers to do it. I have pointed that out since the very beginning of when she started appearing like in the Avengers films and stuff. I'm like, she doesn't have powers and she holds her own. I mean, I never saw her as a piece of ass or a possession.
I'm glad.
I mean, well, I'm a woman too, maybe that's why. But I just thought I was more, excited that she could kick ass on her own without, needing powers to do so.
Meanwhile, all these She-Hulk comics and Chun-Li come up. Yeah, so, she's a mom now. She's in a different place.
That's true. You do think differently when you have kids.
But I think this is I think she's kind of trying to make sure she doesn't get canceled on some level, too, because she's come under a lot of fire over the years, especially because she is playing non-white characters in movies. It's like, I'll just call ScarJo. She'll play Asian for you, But, yeah, so they're walking it back. And after she's gone, I'm sure that they're not going to go there again. Even if they have another Black Widow character, they'll make sure she's appropriately covered up and no one will treat her like a piece of meat. But
mostly she wasn't, though. That's just it. I mean, a couple of the Iron Man movies, but it's Tony Stark. He treated everyone like a piece of ass.
That is true. That's the character. And he's dead now, and you don't have to worry about him. Right?
I mean, they treated Chris Evans as a piece of ass. They literally said he had America's ass. Where's the outrage? So
that is true. Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see where they go. Well, no, it's not going to be really interesting. Never mind. Just forget I said that. Actually, the MCU Phase 4 is not going to be interesting.
I doubt it.
At all. And all the charisma and the sexual tension, it's going to be gone.
Not allowed to have that. That's bad.
For sure. So anyway, what are the reviews like for Black Widow?
They're actually pretty good for the most part, but we do have a lot of, ones in there that are like, nah.
Yeah, I was excited for it. Like
when I read that review, I immediately was like, shit.
Yeah, it's doing okay. So here, you want to read this review? Let's read this.
No, you can read the review. I'll just sit here and let you do.
All right.
Give commentary.
Okay, this is coming from IndieWire. And I want to say too, like, look, even their review is not as loaded as their tweet. And we've been talking about this. Actually, Sharza Kitsune put this out there. This is a meme, by the way. That Vice said, we paid a freelancer to say a thing you like is dog shit because the Google Facebook duopoly ate the whole digital ad market. Now harvesting hate clicks is the only viable business model for online media.
It's true.
It's true. And the Kotaku's editor, we did a video on this yesterday, is basically saying the same thing. Like, I don't want the site to be like that, but that's how we...
Well, that's not what they're saying. They're basically saying we're gonna go more in politics because we need hits.
And we're going to fail.
That's basically what she said.
Yeah, we're going to fail. We can't just cover game news because we've chased off the gamers. But to get people to come to the site, a lot of times we have to whack the beehive too. And it's not untrue. It's not. But that's why they do this. Even if they don't feel this way necessarily, they're going to lead with this because, look,
Look all the quote tweets. And most of them are probably calling them a task.
Probably. Probably. A lot of them are probably like, what the hell? But then you go to the actual article and it's not that. It just said the first movie in over a year gets the job done. It's also by MCU standards downright quaint. It's quaint.
Okay.
So she doesn't even get a full budget.
And they don't even give her a movie until she's dead. The character's dead.
Kind of, yeah. Well, here's the thing now, because now they've got the whole multiverse thing. You know what's going to happen, right? I've been saying this since the beginning. They're going to introduce the multiverse so they can get younger, cheaper replacements for Tony Stark and Steve Rogers and Natasha.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you're right. But you know what's funny to me? When you read the tweet, okay, and it's talking about men. Go back up to the top of this article. It's talking about men, how they're going to be like, But it starts out with, bad accents abound and no amount of fun can salvage the third act cliche of a giant burning object falling from the sky. But overall, Black Widow amounts to a satisfying addition to the Bourne Identity franchise. Who mostly watches the Bourne Identity?
Men.
Yes!
Let's make them squeam. Is that why they're squeaming? This is a better Bourne Identity than the last.
I have no idea.
Bourne
because
movie?
What the tweet says and what the review says are like so far like very different.
Yeah. Well, that's it. Again. This is why they do it, guys. The Mary Sue, do I really think they believe half the horse shit they put out? No.
Because look, if they click on the article and they go read it to get mad and they read the first couple sentences and they're like, well, that's not what it was said left, they still got the ad money.
Got your money. It's like got your nose. Got your money.
Got your nose.
Got your money. We turn the comments off too.
Yeah.
We'll take your money, but we don't want your opinion. Thanks for playing. Thanks for playing, guys. Yeah, so it's, oh my God. Gotta be.
Why did he make it him squeam? Because he's a man?
I don't see anything.
What about gay men? Are they going to squeam? What about men that aren't white? What about what about trans men? Then what are you going to do? How are you going to quantify it for those people?
There's nothing in this that says anything about men squeaming. It's actually a very basic review. Black Widow sags into the same kind of run, fight, repeat routine we've seen countless times before. Where's the man-hating? And even the obligatory post-credits cliffhanger feels a little more than the shrug of promise that every story in this IP juggernaut is really just a feature-length teaser for the next. That's true.
So its actual review isn't actually, basically it's but that's not the tweet they got.
There's nothing in here about men.
Well, there might be if we read the whole thing, but I don't really give a shit.
I'm skimming. That gets me in trouble.
Mostly it's just comparing it to the Bourne Identity franchise.
What? This literally has nothing to do with. So there we go, guys. This is another example of
everything we talk about. So
yeah, pretty much. But the thing is the damage now. If Disney thinks this is smart, this isn't smart, because what's going to happen is people are going to look at this and they're going to see this, tweet, and they're going to be like, I'm not going to watch this movie. It's a man-hating, man-bashing.
Well, that's just it. A lot of people were saying that. Now, me, I've been waiting for this movie for a long time. Neon can attest.
Yeah.
I've been very excited about Black Widow having a movie. I've wanted one for years. I want to see it. I want it to be good so bad, but now I'm like tempering expectations massively, especially from that tweet. And actually, a tweet turned me off more than, anything else. And so I'm just like, I'll probably still watch it, but I'm kind of like, maybe I'll wait until other people watch it first and see if it's as bad as this, because I don't want to pay for it if it's going to be shit. So I don't know.
But hey, at least it passes the Bechdel test. That's what they need to do. They need to put a Bechdel seal. The Bechdel seal of approval.
Paid every time they use it, yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Because
Well, then we need a geeky seal of approval.
We do.
And my test is it a good story? Does it have good characters? Does it have you're invested in it? Does it kick ass? Does it make you cry? Does it make you happy? Does it actually do what it's supposed to do? If so, geeky seal of approval.
All right, so we're gonna wrap this one up.
Yep.
Okay, so please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. We'll talk later.
Bye.